Imagine a future where humanity is no longer alone in the universe. Somewhere far away, orbiting a star 42 light-years from Earth, lives a civilization far older and far more advanced than us. Let's call them the Smorpions. They have technology that makes our most advanced inventions look like children's toys. To them, Earth is just a tiny blue dot with primitive creatures making noise on its surface. And one day, they decide that we are standing in their way, or perhaps they simply view us as a potential threat. They conclude that humanity must be eliminated quickly and completely before we even know what's happening. This is what interstellar war looks like. Unlike wars on Earth, there are no front lines, no battlefields, and no reinforcements. There are no heroic fleets rushing in at the last second. The sheer distances between stars make traditional warfare impossible. Light itself takes years to travel between star systems, and at those scales, the winner is whoever strikes first and leaves nothing behind. An interstellar war is not a series of battles. It's one strike, one shot, and total annihilation. So how would an advanced alien civilization destroy us? The first weapon they might use is a star-powered laser. Not a laser cannon mounted on a spaceship, like in science fiction movies, but something far grander, an entire Dyson swarm dedicated to harvesting their star's energy and focusing it into a beam of pure destruction. A Dyson swarm is a vast collection of satellites orbiting a star, capturing its power. If the Smorpions capture even 1% of their star's output, that's a million billion watts of energy, billions of times greater than the total energy humans produce in an entire year. All of that energy, carefully focused into a laser beam millions of kilometers wide, would travel silently across the void of space for decades. From Earth, we would never see it coming. Only in the final moments would the sky brighten with an eerie green glow as the beam finally reached us. Then, in less than a heartbeat, the exposed side of our planet would be blasted with the energy of 3 million suns. Oceans would vaporize in seconds. Rock would melt into rivers of lava. The very crust of the Earth would buckle and split apart. For life on the surface, there would be no warning, no defense, and no chance of survival. Humanity would be gone before we even understood what had happened. If lasers weren't enough, the Smorpions could build something even more horrifying: relativistic missiles. These are not ordinary missiles. They would be projectiles accelerated to nearly the speed of light using antimatter propulsion. Antimatter is the most energetic fuel possible. When antimatter meets matter, both are annihilated, releasing pure energy according to Einstein's famous equation, E equals mc. Just 1 gram of antimatter contains as much energy as the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The Smorpions, with technology far beyond ours, could manufacture antimatter on an industrial scale and use it to power rockets the size of skyscrapers. Imagine a missile traveling at 99.999996% of the speed of light. At that velocity, time dilation becomes extreme, and to the missile, the journey across light years would pass in an instant. For us, it would mean disaster arriving almost as soon as it's launched. If one of these missiles slammed into Earth, the energy released would dwarf any nuclear weapon ever built. Entire continents would vanish in continent-sized firestorms. The shock wave would be powerful enough to boil the oceans and ignite the atmosphere. And if they launched not 1, but 100 such missiles, Earth would be reduced to dust. But the Smorpions might choose an even subtler weapon, an ultra-relativistic particle beam. This is like a particle accelerator, similar in principle to the Large Hadron Collider we have here on Earth, but scaled up to cosmic levels. Electrons would be accelerated to such incredible speeds that, due to relativity, they would experience time millions of times slower than us. From their perspective, they remain tightly packed, keeping the beam focused over light years of distance. When such a beam finally strikes its target, it delivers its energy with terrifying precision. Imagine a pencil-thin beam punching into Earth with the force of thousands of nuclear bombs, drilling into our planet and vaporizing everything in its path. What all these weapons have in common is that they give the enemy no chance to respond. A beam of light, a missile traveling at relativistic speeds, or a focused particle streamall would reach us so quickly that our warning time would be measured in minutes, if at all. And even if we saw them coming decades in advance, what could we do? There is no defense against such overwhelming power. Interstellar war is not about armies or strategy. It is about ensuring that your enemy never even has the chance to strike back. These ideas may sound like science fiction, but they are all based on real physics. Dyson swarms are a theoretical but plausible megastructure that could one day be built by an advanced civilization. Antimatter propulsion is not just an idea. We have already created tiny amounts of antimatter in laboratories. Particle accelerators exist on Earth right now. The difference is simply a matter of scale. The Smorpians, with centuries or millennia of advancement beyond us, could have developed these technologies to terrifying perfection. And this is what makes interstellar war so chilling. If it ever happens, there are no drawn-out conflicts, no back and forth. There is only one shot, one moment, and either survival or extinction. If the Smorpians chose to destroy us, we might never even know why. We would not hear their declaration of war. We would not see their ships arriving in orbit. We would simply be gone, wiped away like dust blown off a table. But as grim as this scenario sounds, it also teaches us something important. It shows how dangerous it is to assume that advanced civilizations would think like we do. On Earth, wars are fought for resources, land, or ideology. But in the cosmos, resources are infinite stars, planets, and energy beyond measure. The only true motive for interstellar war is fear. The fear that another civilization might one day threaten you. And so, the safest path might be to strike first, to end a potential rival before they grow strong enough to end you. This possibility forces us to think deeply about humanity's own future. As we become more advanced, as we learn to harvest more energy, and perhaps one day build megastructures around our own star, we must ask ourselves, what kind of civilization will we be? Will we choose cooperation, diplomacy, and peaceful exploration? Or will we live in fear, ready to wipe out anyone who looks like a threat? Perhaps one day, humanity will join the stars. And when we do, we must hope that our neighbors are not Smorpians waiting with their finger on the cosmic trigger. Because in the cold expanse of space, interstellar war is not about who fights bravely or who builds the biggest fleet. It is about who strikes first and who is left standing at all.